Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. We're talking about ECCC 2021. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey, guys, it's Prague.
And this is DeLorean Wolfgang.
And we have a couple friends of the show joining us this week.
Hi, it's Gary.
This is Josh. Wait.
Josh
no.
is back. Josh is back.
Sorry, I had to call out. This is Clint.
Collector Clint.
That's right, as you may have heard.
What's up, guys? Hey.
Hey.
How are things?
It's
Thanks for
good.
having me.
Gary, you are a recurring guest. And Clint, this is your first time on the show?
My first full episode time on the show, yes.
Whoa.
First time. That's right. Clint is on one of our sister Is it a sister podcast since we're all a part of the Cross the Streams media?
I'd say yes.
Sure. Okay, cool. Well, then Clint is on one of the sister shows from Cross the Streams Media, The Dorksmen. No longer the Four Dorksmen,
Nope.
but The Dorksmen.
Rebranded.
That's right.
The big D.
Just the D now.
Just the D.
Enjoy the D.
Oh my gosh.
Well, cool. We're really glad to have you guys on board to talk about ECCC. Now, both me and Prague, we did not attend, but
No.
Trevor, Gary, and Clint did. So
Yes.
you're going to hear a lot of them, but who knows? You might get some comedy out of me and Prague.
Yeah,
You're
we'll ask some
open.
questions. Sure.
If there's
Well, first of all,
bad puns from Prague, I'll be very disappointed.
I'll make sure to throw some in there. I just want to know how you guys are feeling. Are you guys tired, jet lagged, anything? Feeling good?
I'm tired.
Yeah, because it was like a day ago, wasn't it? You guys were just there yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh?
Well, Gary had a much further flight home and, of course, had, other additional tasks to worry about versus my direct flight to Colorado. So I'm actually doing okay.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. I don't even change time zones, so it's...
Yeah, he just flies right down south.
That's great.
Now, ECCC, for the people that don't know, that it is Emerald City Comic-Con. It is held up in, is it Seattle?
Yes.
It is.
It is.
Seattle area, which is gorgeous, especially this time of year when it's freezing cold. Yeah,
And nice
wet.
and rainy.
made sure I stayed down here in sunny San
Like, as a
Diego.
Californian, I don't even know what rain is, so that was probably
Yeah,
the
what is
biggest
rain?
change.
Yeah. It was wet. It was a wet con.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was.
nice.
It was nice. It wasn't bad though. I mean, you think of Seattle rain, you think of it just downpouring and you can't walk outside without your clothes just drenched. But it was like a drizzle at worst, I
Yeah.
feel like most of the time.
No, okay,
Nice.
but that's what everybody says about Seattle is that it's like one of those rainy places all the time. But every time I've ever been to Seattle, it's always been gorgeous, nice blue skies and sunny weather.
That
I've
was not the case
never-
this weekend.
Yeah, see, I just figured the locals up there just tell everybody that it's always raining. So they're like, yeah, nobody's going to show up if we keep telling them it rains all year long.
Yeah, keep them out of the city. Exactly. Now, I would assume this time of year be like that because I've had that experience as well. I like Seattle a lot. I've been there several times, and it's always been nice when I've been there.
Mhm.
So, but I don't think I've ever been there this time of year.
Well, you can tell that it has a lot of rain because every building, no matter what it is, has an awning. Every single one. And they're all different. So you have to watch where you're going if you're on the end because some have holes, some have slants, whatever. So every building has an awning. That doesn't mean you're going to stay dry, but at least it's an attempt.
Is this because the buildings are tired? Is that why they're yawning all the time?
That's for you. That's for you, Gary.
Nice.
Hey, Gary,
Thanks, Bob.
pun number one for you, brother.
I should keep track or something.
I wish there was a
Starting
counter.
off strong.
Here, let's do a little thing here. There's one. All right?
Hey,
Hey,
it's the bell. The bell makes an appearance. You're
now was this anyone's first Emerald City Comic Con, or have you guys all been there before?
It was my first.
Also my first.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Cool.
I think
It
this is my
was-
third con ever, so I'm not exactly rolling
Wow,
in con
really?
experience. Yeah.
It was my second time out there because I actually went to the ECCC 2020. That never happened.
Okay. Right.
So I still showed up even though it didn't.
Oh, you
it
still
didn't
showed
take
up in
Yeah.
Seattle. Nice. Okay.
place. Yeah. We just pivoted and a group of us just went to Everett and hung out
That makes
there.
sense.
Oh, God.
But yeah,
all
so
I
this
think
is my
about
first ECCC proper.
Nice.
Profits.
Very cool. So do you guys want to start from the beginning on what just I mean, Gary, you flew across the country to get to ECCC.
Was
Yeah.
it
Like,
worth it?
Was it worth it to do something like that?
That day, I don't know. I had trouble. I had trouble on my flights that day. I don't know what happened with my booking or whatever Delta did, but when I went to check in the airport that morning, there was an issue with my ticket, and it took like almost an hour and a half to resolve. So I got to the gate just right at boarding.
Wow.
And those problems persisted right through. So I did a transfer through Vancouver, and yeah, I had issues out there as well. So I was just happy to make it. So but yeah, no, it was worth it. It was worth flying out because I got to see all my friends, or at least
Well, it
most
looked
of my
like
friends, right?
Yeah, it looked like
So-
that there was a very large group of people who went up there for it. I mean, I would almost say that this was kind of the first real con that people. I mean, Designer Con happened, but I wouldn't really consider that to be on the same level.
Comic-Con
New York
happened.
Comic-Con happened.
Oh, that's right. Okay, New York happened, but you know what? Who cares about that? We're talking Emerald City, baby.
In terms of volume of people I got to see, ECCC was definitely a higher count.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it was worth it. It was worth it for me. Yeah.
So was it with all you guys? Was it like was there something that you were looking forward to the most to see at ECCC? God, how many C's are there in this?
A lot.
I'm just gonna
There's
say
about
Emerald City or
25.
whatever.
Emerald City.
ECQ. There you go.
Other than people,
Yeah, other than people.
at the con itself, no, not really.
So you just kind of went just to go. You weren't like there with an agenda to like see
No.
anybody or do anything, pick up anything specific. It was just let's go have fun.
For the con, no. I mean, I had
Okay.
other reasons for being out there.
Sure.
But for the con itself, no. I had no plan, no agenda. It was really to see everyone that was going, because it's been a long time, guys, right?
Yeah,
has.
for sure.
Yeah.
To be clear, Gary and I only had Thursday passes. We didn't have the
Wait,
other days.
what?
Yeah.
You guys were there all weekend and you only had Thursday passes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was there enough to do outside of the con?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was. And I mean, it was like Gary said, it was to see the people. So people, not everybody
Of
who was
course.
there went to the con every day, or at least not all the time. So, definitely got to see people in between at night, stuff like that. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
whenever
Sale's a nice city.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but whenever you're telling me that it was raining all weekend, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, San Diego Comic-Con, you've got about 1 million things to do outside of the con. Like the streets are littered with stuff to do.
Yeah, so there's
Right.
no official like offsite things. It's just Seattle itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
you're
it's
there
downtown
you're
Seattle,
sightseeing.
right in the middle of everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I went for a tour of food, basically.
Nice.
Yes, you
That would
did.
be me. Yeah.
And it was great. I was happy to be a part of that.
That's awesome. Trevor, what about you, man?
I mean, I didn't have any specific plans. I have the cool excuse that I go get to see my extended family, so it gives me incentive to see them while doing the con. So I only went on Thursday and Friday. I saw my family on Wednesday and Saturday and didn't go to the con
Okay.
at all. So it was just 2 days, and it's probably just because 2019 Emerald City is more of a 2-day con. Like at San Diego, you could probably spend all 5 days doing different stuff just because it's so big and there's so many different avenues. Emerald City, it's like, okay, I'm going to walk the whole show floor. I'm going to go to Artist Alley and I'm going to get specific things that I want. And you kind of get the gist of the whole con.
Gotcha.
Agreed.
And that's kind of
Okay.
how I feel with like WonderCon and DesignerCon. Like you can go through those in like 1, maybe 2 days, and you've got the gist. You pretty much seen it all at that point. So Emerald City sounds like it's roughly about the same as that.
Well,
Yeah.
Trevor, and as somebody who had been before, it was smaller than it was previous years, correct?
So it's the same footprint on the show floor, but there's definitely bigger gaps and openings. There's not as many vendors. I mean, this is the recovering from the pandemic con where in 2019, no one knows what coronavirus is. No one cares. And so you can just tell, like, in 2019, Funko was in the back corner. That's not like this year in 2021. They're front and center. The first thing you see is a big Funko booth that takes over pretty much everything, where they're playing music there. And this is set in December. This is the first major con in December. And you go in and they're like, I was like, oh, are they playing music in the convention center that's Christmas music? No, it was just from the Funko booth, but it seemed like it was the entire convention center.
Wow.
Yeah. They had
So
a
if it weren't for
DJ.
them, you wouldn't have music or ambiance.
Not really.
No.
I mean, there was nobody even with a microphone that I recall. At least
wow.
the show floor part.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
So those who are listening, we actually are all kind of in the Funko community, and honestly, like everything that I saw on Twitter, it almost seemed like everything was Funko related at the con. I mean, was there any other vendors outside of Funko that's real notable at
Right. That stood out to
ECCC?
you.
Right.
I mean, Figpin was there.
Okay.
That's probably the other big.
I mean, Figpin's
company.
based in Seattle, so this is
Yeah.
a nice, convenient con for them.
Right. But their booth wasn't giant by any stretch of the
No.
imagination. It was
No.
definitely bigger than it was, in San Diego in 2019, but it didn't stick out like a sore thumb by any stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of was the bait booth I saw online. I don't know if you guys went to that at all.
I don't think I ever saw the bait booth.
Saw the bait booth.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
That's the only booth I saw was that one in Funko. That's the only two I saw online from people posting pictures because it had the Squid Game characters all over the
Right.
place.
Oh,
So-
yeah. No, I totally missed that.
I did too. I wonder where.
I
Trevor,
did
do you know where it
too.
was? Oh, you
Are
didn't
you
see
sure
it
it wasn't
Okay.
a special edition? Because Bait's in San Diego.
Right.
Right.
It might have been. I have no idea. They all kind of blend together.
I actually, so when we had that special edition San Diego Comic-Con, Sully came down for that, and we were out at a bar, and he goes, "Oh, hey, Bait's doing some release. Let's head over to Bait." So we walked down the street and picked it. I still have my bag sitting there with all the stuff. I haven't even unloaded it yet, but yeah, man, Bait's a cool shop, dude. I'm glad that they made it up there. I don't know how many.
If they did, I
Comic-Cons
might
they
be
actually do.
mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, interesting juxtaposition with special edition the week before
Right.
is that San Diego Convention Center is bigger than the current Seattle Convention Center. They're working on a big brand new one. It's under construction. It's right across the street. It's going to be like 2 city blocks.
Wait,
but
in
this
Seattle?
current one, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so with San Diego, if you've ever been, you know that Hall H is a big deal, and you know that they pretty much go from A to H. There's exhibitors all throughout the San Diego Convention Center. But for special edition, that whole I think it only went A to D that they had exhibitors. So almost like a third of the convention center was just empty. And that's really eerie. With Seattle, it was pretty much, there's gaps in between the layout, but they still used all of the floor space that they had.
So people just had bigger booths, pretty much. What do you say?
Bigger booths and bigger walkways. They were very wide.
Yeah.
All right.
You know how when you're at San Diego and you usually walk cramps, you're like all squished in?
You don't have to walk
side by side with somebody else at Emerald City.
We were walking like 3-4 people straight.
You can just go down the whole path. Nobody gets in your way or anything.
Not at all.
That's awesome. What was the cosplayers like out there? Were there pretty decent amount?
I mean,
there were some.
Expected.
It wasn't over and abundant. Now, as I say that, I think the cosplay event itself was on Saturday, which Trevor obviously didn't go to, and Gary and I only went to part of it. So I don't think we saw as many. We definitely didn't see as many on Thursday, the day we went, but I think Saturday was the day, and we just weren't around for a lot of it. But there definitely were some. There were some really neat ones. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I wonder if the weather played a part in that as well.
Well, it is funny because you walk around downtown Seattle, and I can't remember if it was raining on Saturday. I think it was drizzling, whatever.
It was,
and you're seeing these people in t-shirts and jeans or shorts, or of course the girls want to dress in something revealing, if you will, and you're like, you feel sorry for you because it's cold. I'm on my beanie and a hoodie.
Exactly. A lot of these cosplayers, they're very revealing. So that's where I'm like, how does the cold affect them and all that stuff? But I mean, it sounds like you guys really didn't come in contact with too many of them.
No,
a lot of the ones were like full body suits. Like you'd see somebody wearing a whole Deadpool getup, or there was a guy who was in a full Pikachu outfit, or there was Squirtle with sunglasses where they're covered head to toe.
Yeah, there was a Snorlax.
My favorite was probably the Snorlax.
Yeah,
that I remember seeing. It was just
that'd be comfy
for everything. Yeah, and I mean, he was
there was like a big Chewbacca that covers you completely too.
Right.
So did you guys pick up anything while you were there? I mean, you made the trip out to Seattle. Was there anything that you knew that you wanted to get, or that you just came across and you were like, this is something that I have to have?
Well, I did pick up some Funko exclusives because I got booth access.
Real quick, before you go further on that, I want to just say, I think I've not heard of a single person who applied for Funko booth access and didn't get
I
it
didn't
this
get
time.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That's indicative of its own right. I mean,
Right.
just
Yeah.
as to put it into perspective, the show floor opens at 10, and by 11, they pretty much open general admission on Saturday.
Wow.
No, that's not even an exaggeration either. That's like spot on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot has changed.
So I mean, but the reason I bring that up though is, we're talking about getting stuff. It wasn't like it has been at other times with other cons or even this con itself. It was so much more laid back and open compared to what I've heard and what I've seen, at least in San Diego. So just to go along with that. So I'm with Gary. Grab some Funko exclusives, especially. I can claim I got into the booth now. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that again. So that was part of the fun.
Okay.
Artist Alley. I know we'll probably talk about it in a little bit. I did make sure to go see Priscilla up there, grab something from her.
Nice.
We like Priscilla and she puts out good stuff. Our booth, Gary and I had Funko booth access, the very first one on Thursday. So the very first Funko booth access. So we couldn't run to go anywhere else to get anything, which was
we
fine.
missed out on the Sune. So
Yeah, we missed on the Sunes or I know people were running to Fig Pin even though they didn't sound like they needed to.
Yeah.
But stuff like that. So we didn't have the option to even think about it, which is fine. But I'm just saying, we couldn't get anything else at rope drop, if you Disney fans know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Except for Funko.
But I didn't really, like I said, I didn't have an agenda to get anything.
Agreed.
My suitcase was already full anyways before the con even started because Clint and Eva and Robbie had stuff that they were bringing for me. So my suitcase was already full.
Oh no.
So I had to be careful not to buy much anyways. So yeah, so I didn't buy a whole lot. One Fig Pin, a few Funko items, something from Priscilla, and I think that's about it. So
Not too bad. All right.
No. It was nice not to have that. Okay, we got to go here. This opens at this time. I have access at this time. It was just like breathe,
relax, hang out with your friends. Right.
Yeah.
Basically, you just got to chat and wander with people. So.
Right.
It sounds like it was such a relaxing time. Like it doesn't sound like there was much controversy. I know that every year there's always something going on with Comic-Con or with Comic-Con in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like that includes WonderCon, New York City Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. There always seems to be some kind of controversy that happens. This seems like everything was kind of smooth.
It was a chill con.
Yeah,
it was very chill.
Which does that make for a good episode? Come on, guys, make some stuff.
Well,
up.
it doesn't contrast. I mean, you think like you mentioned, and I mean, again, San Diego. The one time I've been, there's no breathing. Like you are always moving somewhere. You are always going somewhere. You're always planning 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, you don't get to see your friends really unless
Right.
they happen to
always missing
with the
out
same
on
thing.
something.
Right.
Always missing out.
Right. You're like, you can't attend everything. And I mean, there's so many offsites and everything else. And that just wasn't the case. And I mean, honestly, I'd prefer it that way, and don't get me wrong. San Diego has its charm and I'm not saying change it, but it was nice just to take it easy. And I mean, we can get more into it. One thing I was really looking forward to, we talked about the Funko booth itself, which was great, but they did the artist drawings. And, I had heard time and time again from everybody that's so cool. Now, from what I understood, they do it like, and this is hypothetical, Friday for 4 hours. They do it one time for one set of time. And Trevor, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you've experienced this before. That wasn't the case.
Spot on.
Is that okay? Good. That wasn't the case this time. As far as I understand it, from what I've heard, they had artists available, a section for them, and number of them on standby, we'll call it, for at least 3 of the days, for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, basically all day.
Nice.
I heard
It was like 11 to 6.
I heard they might not have been there Sunday. I don't know if that's true or not. But the point is, they were there. And it was kind of funny the way they did it, because they did it kind of behind the Funko booth. So I'm sure people didn't know it was there, because that line was never that long.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's I think
Yeah.
when people, so the way the Funko booth was laid out, up front you had the cattle, what do you call them?
The shopping area, the queue.
Yeah, the queue,
There
where you
go.
kind of go through
The cattle roundup.
That's it, the cattle roundup, where you go through. They had a stage right beside it where they would randomly pull people from the line to go up and do trivia or dance it to win it or
I've
air
seen
guitar.
videos. Yes. Okay.
And then there was the registers where they gave you your exclusives, and when you leave they had photo ops. So they had the usual Funko box that you can go stand in, and then they had like a snow globe with Freddy that you could go take your picture. And then when you left that area, if you just went right to the left, that was the entrance to the line that takes you to the back of the booth where they had the artists sketching. And I just don't know if people left that area and didn't bother, that they didn't want to go in there. But the line was, you could loop that line several times in one day.
We did.
Which I don't think. We all did that. Which
yes.
which I don't think you can do normally, right? So
from what I understand,
weird.
One time, 4 hours. It's usually a long line, and they didn't really have it clearly marked. Now they did, advertise it and talk about it beforehand, but that kind of brings you back to the booth. Gary mentioned they were having the stage, and really, I mean, they were trying to get people excited, trying to get people really into it. I mean, like I said. And like Trevor said, they had the microphone, they had the music playing, they had a DJ. They had a DJ who was there every day, all day with them, who could play different music and switch it up and whatever. And the crowd just was not into it. I mean, even Gary and I.
What is the deal?
Right. Oh, and like I mentioned, Gary and I had the very first access, and there were some people who actually kind of ran to the booth, which I'm like, slow down, it's fine. You have a time slot, you'll be great.
Right.
But then
you're gonna get the crap, dude.
Right. But then we get in the line, and they're trying to hype us up, and they're like, I can't hear you, get excited. Mike Becker's there, and half the people are just staring down at their phones.
Oh no!
And I mean, this was the very first session. This isn't anything else. And I'm just shocked. Now, given the guys we were with were a lot of fun, because Gary and I were in the front towards the line, just how it worked out.
Sure.
But like you look behind you, and like there's just people looking down their phone. I guess they're just waiting to get whatever they want. But I was bamboozled, because you go to San Diego's hyped the whole time.
Oh,
all
people
the time,
are nonstop dancing, joking, having a great time, talking, getting to know the other people in line. Like it's a social event. It's the event of the year out here. And it kind of surprises me to hear that it was kind of ho-hum up there.
And I don't know if it's because since we were there so early, maybe people were still tired. I have no idea.
It was so weird, because I think we were going in with the expectation that this is going to be, exciting and fun. And there were people who were up with us in line who were very excited and talking and, everything else. But then we got in there and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And it worked out. I mean, it worked out for Gary. Gary got on stage and answered trivia and danced at the same time and tore it up.
So. Gary.
And you won a proto.
I did win a proto, yeah.
And Clint, I saw that you did some air guitaring, I believe.
Well, that was at the party before the con.
Wednesday night.
Funko HQ.
See, this is the type of stuff that we want to hear about, is these parties.
So that was
back alley party. What is this?
So okay. And again, anybody's welcome to interrupt me. I don't mean to keep talking. So I think they tried.
So anyways, with
yes. I think they actually
tried. That's what you wanted, right?
That's exactly what I wanted. I think they tried to call it Fanatic Fest, even though the only reason I know that is because I got a sticker that says it. I don't think anybody else knows that name.
That's a great name.
I thought it was too. That's why I was kind of like, why aren't they pushing this more? Regardless, though, you went in. They had some games. They had 3 different games going on where you could win swag, which was great, and that was fun. And it wasn't just like just leftover pops they couldn't sell. There was some giving away protos or some bigger things, some shirts. I know Gary and I were both like, don't win a 10-inch pop, don't win a 10-inch pop, because then you got to pack it and take
How do you get bring it home?
Right. I mean, people did. I know Robbie and his wife did, and Robbie's wife is a big Stitch fan. She got Stitch, so they were like,
no way.
We'll break down the box, we'll take it home.
They donated it. There was
did they end up donating it?
At the entrance to Funko HQ. They had donation boxes, so people could donate things
for the holidays. Nice.
For the holidays.
That's awesome.
So so instead of like taking it home, she donated it, which was great.
That was cool. Yeah, and
I sat there
and
every
others did
single
too.
one of those games, and I was like, please don't let it land on the 10-inch, because
right.
I can't bring it home.
Well, what's funny is there was the spin the wheel, and I landed on 10-inch pops, and I was like, shit. I literally, I don't know if I can swear on this, but oh darn. Anyway, it landed on it, and they were out, and I'm like, thank God. kind of thing. And then they rolled it again. It was a mystery mini, so we went from extreme to extreme.
Oh no.
I'm okay with it. No, I again, between the two, I would definitely take the
Between the
mystery
two,
mini
sure.
for being
Yeah.
home, for being there.
Yeah.
But anyway, where I was going with that is, and then about I don't know, halfway through, they kind of did the same thing they did with the booth. They had everybody kind of come up front, and they picked people from the crowd, and they did the trivia or the air guitar or whatever, and they did games, and people won protos. And I mean, Mike was there, and this was the only time we saw Brian Mariotti for all you Funko fans out there. He was the only time he showed up at anything. But that was fun because these were people who were actually fanatics who had to make an effort and win to get in there, or stand in the standby line and show up and hope they got in like I did. Or
and that's what people didn't realize. There wasn't a standby line, but I guess the number of tickets that they had available were not all claimed.
Like significantly.
I think there was we estimated there may have been like 40. Because when you walk in, they give you a bag, and inside the bag is the envelope with the tickets to go to each of the 3 games. And I think when we left, we thought there were maybe been 40 bags that were still unclaimed.
And keep in mind, it's a small private event, so that, we're saying 100, 125 people here.
Yeah,
there were 15 of us that got in on standby because people didn't show up, and then there was still this. Like, it felt really small, it felt really intimate. It was easy to chat with anybody you wanted to. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I'm glad those people didn't show up. It worked out great for me.
So there wasn't an official standby line. So for the listeners, it's not like there always is. Right. I don't think they intended to have a standby line. No, it just happened that there was still capacity, and if there were people that were there,
they let them in, huh?
We definitely took our chances with that.
And I mean, Clint had to pay. Like, we all had to pay our $25.
Which big deal, right?
For the ones that actually won it through the lottery, we still had to pay to get our ticket to it. But yeah, they were like, we're not at capacity. So
anyway, the point is, it was a lot of fun. It was just, for whatever reason, like the rest of the con, kind of lowly attended, but it was exciting. I had a really good time. I can't speak for everybody else, but it looked like everybody did, and everybody was into it, which was nice. And I think that kind of got us excited for when we got to the actual con, thinking going to be the same kind of thing.
The good thing is, a lot of the trivia questions that they had that night at the HQ party, they used them the next day.
So
if you were there, you were lucky, and if you heard the answers,
including the question that stumped some people at the party was, what town does Back to the Future start in?
How is this? How are people? Oh my god!
Yeah, that one came up twice. It came up at the party, and it came up at the 10 a.m. session.
Trevor, what's the town?
It's Hill Valley.
Trevor, do you
Not
have a
Twin
story
Pines?
about that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's another podcast.
I think Joey got the hardest question.
That's right. Okay, yeah, you can't talk
Who
about
did?
that quite yet.
Joey got the hardest. Joey got the hardest question because they were trying to make the trivia questions harder as the night went on, and so Joey got pulled up there, and he was asked, "What was the last thing we unboxed today on our live?" And Joey was like, "I was flying in, so I don't know." And the rest of us were like, we were also flying.
We were all playing, so nobody had a clue.
Yeah,
that's not even a fair question,
right? You could have guessed,
but
they
helped him out. They understood. They weren't like, "Oh well, screws to be you." They weren't.
He got something, but it was just funny that's the question that they came up with. The other question that was hilarious that they said, when did Funko start? Right.
And like 96, 98.
Well,
98.
Regardless of the answer, though. Go on, Gary.
So the person was a little stumped, and the thing is, there were at least half of us were wearing the Funko jackets with the 98 on there.
Oh,
so we're all like
hello,
looking at her,
pointing.
Jackets.
Yeah.
But I think what it is you get up there, and it's like with anything, right? You get up there, and your brain just like,
of course,
fritzes on you, right?
I can't.
They were cool. With help.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah, they didn't
People
want
from
to
the audience yelled out the answers and stuff like that. So it was like they're not going to let you go home empty-handed.
No, but
and I know that Funko has the trivia game coming out soon.
The pop quiz stuff.
Yeah, did they happen to do any auditions up there?
No. They didn't, and I mean, imagine they didn't because they didn't think those people had any chance of getting to L.A. or San Diego when
Funko pays for it. Funko pays for the travel and the hotel.
Funko gives you $500 travel reimbursement.
Well, now I'm disappointed they didn't, because I would have loved to
Yeah,
audition.
right?
But I understand that's also probably a lot of equipment to take from Funko
Yeah,
Hollywood.
that's what I'm
I
thinking
mean,
too. Had to
yeah,
build a
I
whole
mean-
new studio
Oh,
up there
no,
just for some auditions.
Everything's down here in Coronado.
Right.
In
So,
San
yeah.
But
Diego,
no,
yeah.
but all
so-
for Hollywood, it's just one of the stands, and then they put them just one of those like regular backgrounds.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that's
It's really easy to
stuff.
transport. Yeah, they don't have to
Yeah.
transport
Huh?
the whole studio.
Yeah, when you do,
Shame
but
on
when you do-
them.
You know what? Kudos for kudos. I think they did a great job with the booth, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the booth was outstanding.
was
it was
great,
one of their
yeah.
best layouts.
Yeah, and
so
it was
far,
fun.
'cause
if you
it's
made
like
it
they
fun.
learned from 2019, because in 2019, to Clint's point about the artist sketches, they had one big long table that was all people checking people out, and then for certain artist hours they cut it in half, and they'll hear artists, you sit, and so now the booth can only do so many transactions because they just split it in half. And so now to have the artists in a whole back area, again, I don't know if people didn't understand, because by Friday they had to put example sketches where it says artist signs start here, so like this is what you can get, and people still are like whatever.
It was a great sketch.
Huh?
Yeah. It was pretty, and actually, I think those of us that learned early on that the artists were doing the sketches, I think we got probably better ones than the ones that were later on.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Because because the lineup wasn't huge, they didn't have to push people through fast enough, so you could sit chat with the artists while they're doing this. Some of them were extremely detailed.
Mhm. Or request an
Um,
artist. You wanted to
yeah.
say, you see Ben
You
Butcher,
could
you say,
wait.
I'm going to wait for
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah. And when we went on Saturday, they weren't as well. Saturday was the busier of the 2 days that I
Sure.
went to. And I only got Saturday because someone had an extra 4-day that I could use just for the day. So but yeah, it was much busier, and they just kind of Trevor.
I don't know if it's Trevor's pass, but Trevor definitely helped us out. Thank you
Yeah.
again, Trevor.
We I think they were trying to stick to the menu. They had a menu, so when you line up for the artist sketch, they had a menu of what you can select, and you had to choose like a character. Then you could choose a style, so it was like space, fantasy, superhero, horror, I think were the styles.
Okay.
You could choose 2 things for them to, I guess, part of the picture, like a snow globe, cookies. So it's all Christmas themed. And then you could add like an optional pet as I think the 4th thing on the menu.
Yeah, like the main thing, it's
yeah.
like Santa or Nutcracker or
Snowman or Freddy.
Polar
Freddy was
bear.
a choice.
Freddy's the main thing, but they still going to do Freddy in kind of like a Christmas theme. So
right.
it made it easier for people who have no idea what to request.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
so
gonna lie, I didn't stick to it.
I wouldn't be able to walk up there and say, I want Marty McFly on a hoverboard standing next to, or hoverboarding next to Michelangelo on a skateboard down in a sewers.
You totally can.
You probably could, but I'd be, cautious with a really detailed, large request. I think most of them were like one character, then let them kind of do their thing.
You slip the dude $5, man. Come on.
Now, I'm not saying they
guy.
wouldn't do it. I'm not saying they wouldn't get excited to do it. I'm just saying going in blind,
and
maybe not the best approach.
Also, they did requests, and they'll be like, draw a Christmas tree in the background, like
Right.
As the days went on, they were more and more flexible, and they just put like a little Christmas accent to it.
In fact, I think I have one that doesn't have anything Christmas in it. And I even asked, I'm like, do whatever you want. Just this is my request, and they're like, okay.
Well, speaking of, why don't you guys do some show and tell and show us what you got from the artists for those who are watching on YouTube?
For the audio listeners.
Audio listeners,
beautiful,
we'll have vibrance. Just keep your eyes open.
Who wants to go first?
Well, Gary, why don't you go first?
All right. So I looped the line. Well, I looped the line officially 3 times. The 4th one, I have a story around that. But so the first one I actually stuck to the menu.
Stuck to the menu.
Freddy. It's a Freddy superhero. He's like has a present and some Christmas trees and a little cat.
Great.
And that was Chris Metzner. That did that. Then the second time I stuck to the menu, but I asked if I could get a specific character. So of course,
nice.
Wonder Woman. Right. So I did a snow person Wonder Woman. And I don't know if you can tell, but her snow globe, which is one of the items that you can.
There you go.
Has like her
the
invisible
jet.
jet. Yeah.
Nice.
So I stuck to the menu for that one.
I almost didn't see
was-
it there.
That was Ben's
Yeah.
idea. Thank you, Pirog. That was Ben's idea, right?
No, he asked me what I wanted in the snow globe, and I told him the invisible jet. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
It's like, how do
And
I
then-
draw that?
As an artist, I'd go, well, this is gonna be easy, dude.
Yeah,
Well, so-
easy,
Here's a
perfect,
piece
done.
of paper,
What they
man.
did is they actually had pieces of paper with like a lot of requested stuff on it that they could, use for
Reference.
inspiration. Yeah.
And they had their
But-
phones, so they
But
looked
that's
at
where,
reference.
most of them were on most of the time were their phones.
Because Ben Butcher's not a Wonder Woman. Like if you
No.
know Ben Butcher and the stuff that he works on, he's not the Wonder Woman guy. So I asked him what's the weirdest one that he's gotten. He goes, "This is probably the weirdest."
Nice.
So, and then me and
Aw.
Stitch, but I got Stitch. So I stuck with the holiday theme for the most things. But then one of the artists did another Wonder Woman for me.
Dang,
And she
dude.
actually the story behind this is I met her 2019 at NYCC, and she was working not at Funko at that time. She was working at Figpin, and she drew. I actually have an actual sketch from her in my actual Wonder Woman sketchbook, and I happen Yoko had mentioned that she was now at Funko. And when I was talking with Joey and Joey as they were getting their sketches, she just happened to be standing there. Didn't recognize her at first because she had her mask on, but she pulled her mask down to take a sip of some water. And I was like, "Hey, wait, are you Alexa?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then I said, "Hey, you did a sketch for me." And she remembered. So she was like,
And then
"I
you
have
said,
to do an
hey, Alexa, play
Yes,
Elton
yes.
John.
yeah, exactly."
I'm sure she's never heard that before.
But yeah, so she said she goes, "I have to draw something for you." So yeah, so she
And
I
she
thought she
did.
was gonna say, I
was
have
there,
to leave now.
No. She was super like
She was
Gary didn't
super
ask her.
cool.
She's like, I have to do it. I have to do it. Like, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
and she actually, so she's now one of the 3D renderers, and she actually did the 3D render of that particular Wonder Woman.
Oh, nice.
So it was perfect. So yeah, so those were the ones that I got, and I could have gotten more if I wanted to loop the line. I just
That's crazy being
that
able to loop the
Thursday,
line like that.
we literally didn't even have to leave like the queue. You could have just stayed in that little room and just hung out and said, "Okay,
Yeah.
you're done. I'll go get to you now."
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wild.
It was crazy, and it was disappointing
Exciting.
because they came out so good, as you guys can see.
yeah.
I'll quickly show off mine.
Well, I know that Trevor's got about a stack and a half.
Yeah,
on
Trevor
Well, I
his
mean,
has
side.
like
why wouldn't
15 or
you?
something.
Why would you
Yeah.
not take advantage? Like, this is the stuff that, like,
Yeah,
I was
I
going to
mean-
be happy to get one.
Well, and that's
big
the thing.
emphasis-
Oh, go ahead.
Well, just
Trevor.
Artist Alley is a big deal, and people have commissions for like $50 or $60.
Yeah.
And Funko's doing this for free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the artists were, and I never heard any artists like give any indication they were annoyed, upset, anything. They were all very happy to do it. They were all talkative. They would talk to you, while you were doing it, and nothing but nice. Anyway, a couple I got. First one I went was Freddie Funko as well as the superhero. This is
doggy.
what they came up with. Yeah,
Little
he's
snow dog.
eating a cookie. That was
Who
actually
was the
based on-
artist on that one?
I don't remember her name. Obviously starts with an M.
MD.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
2021.
that's right. McDonald's. And then
That was
after-
last week's episode, Prog.
Ah,
so then I went through
Alright.
again and I was like, all right, I got a Freddy. Let's get a Bob's Burger one. So this guy
okay.
was drawn by Gary Ham,
Oh.
the animation director.
Nice. I like that
Yeah.
one. I like that style.
As you guys can maybe tell, there's a burger in the Space Needle.
Nice.
As you can tell, it's also not holiday at all. I expected
No.
something, but didn't. Following that, though, was Ben Butcher's creation of Freddy Krampus.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
God.
I
That's
still
good
have
stuff.
not seen Krampus, so I don't know what it's about. I mean, I know what
it's
it's about, but
It's
Right.
about Krampus.
it's about Krampus.
But so the cool thing about these is, every single one I've shown you has been done differently. The first one was marker, the second one was color pencil, this one is crayon, and then I got a sketch the last day, just like Gary said one day, through of Rick and Snow Morty.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So yeah, I like that one quite a bit. So anyway, I was very happy with mine. But yeah, Trevor said, commissions, and here they are. Just get whatever you want.
That's
Well, and
crazy that
before
they do
Trevor
that.
goes,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask: was there any other notable artists that were on the Artist Alley outside of Funko?
There probably were.
Mm.
Oh,
I
no.
only well, again, see, okay, so my ticket was really to see people, right? So I didn't, even though I walked around, I must admit I didn't really look at much because I was too busy chatting with people.
Right.
I did go up to Artist Alley to visit. I always visit Chris Uminga and Chrissy Zulo.
Mhm.
So I always go visit them, and of course we went to see Priscilla.
Mhm.
But there probably were some other artists there.
Oh, there were a lot of artists there.
There were a lot of
some
artists.
cool stuff.
I just don't know who the
Right.
who.
Right. I mean,
There
there
were
was
any big.
there was
Jim
a lot
Lee.
of good
Okay, so
stuff.
Jim Lee was there. I know that because there was a
Oh.
fan experience for Jim Lee, on I think Saturday
That's
and
probably
Sunday
Saturday,
or
yeah.
Friday and Saturday. I can't remember.
Well, I ask
but-
because ECCC is known for
Mhm.
their Artist Alley. Like that is
Mhm.
what people go to that con for.
Yeah.
Is the Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Now, San Diego has their own Artist Alley, and it's great, but it's like tucked away in a corner where
It's
nobody's
wedged in
really.
the corner.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wedged.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
The only
They
reason
said-
people
they
saw it
say they have
last time was
a whole-
Funko. Yeah.
A whole
Right.
space for them, and
Right, like you can't avoid it. If you go up the stairs, that's all there is. And there was there was a lot of cool stuff up there, just glancing. I had to put my wallet firmly in my pocket to make sure it didn't come out because there was so much cool stuff that I'm like, I gotta, consolidate a little bit. Gotta consider that. So, but I mean, if there was anything you wanted, it was there. And the artists were there. And even talking to the guys Gary just mentioned, everyone was super nice, always happy to talk to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they were there to sell art, but they were there to, enjoy the non-frantic personality that is Emerald City Comic Con.
I think if
Right.
it was like a regular con that had been going, like that I'd been attending, and it wasn't truncated, and I hadn't seen people in so long. If it was like just a normal thing, I probably would have spent more time up in Artist Alley than any place, because me, I would have gone up there to actually get sketches for my book. And the fact that I was only planning to be there one day, it's not enough time for me to go up there, get a sketch, and then hope to get it back like by the end of the con. So, but I had the Funko booth to do something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so the one that Ben did for me, the Snow Person Wonder Woman, that I'll just put into my book, and the one that Alexa did, I'll put that into my book as well. So I ended up with it, and like Trevor said, I didn't have to pay for it this time.
Free win. I like
So,
it.
It's
All right, Trevor, show us yours.
Yeah, let's
Please.
see the stack.
Speaking of Artist Alley, the cool thing is that is what ECC is known for, and I would say that it wasn't that much smaller than 2019. They really did a good job of getting the artists.
Nice.
Like, it was full, and it's up on the 6th floor, and the usual size was, every place was filled. All the rows, there weren't empty markers or anything.
Yeah, there was
That's good to
there
hear.
was a lot there, and like I said, it was just casual. Like, no one's trying to push you into anything. No one's trying to, you have to go see this one. There was a lot of good stuff. It's just I didn't have anything in mind.
Yeah.
And no one was at the con, so you don't usually Artist Alley, you're like 5 people back, and you're like craning your neck over to see, and it's like, oh, I
who is
want
this?
that, and you have to get way up to try to get their card or anything. Yeah.
Now, real quick, what I did notice is that on the floor there were artists as well on the actual con floor. Is that just them willing to pay more to get down there?
Yeah, they just are more expensive booths because they're
they could be
bigger
more
spaces.
well known. Yeah, bigger
Yeah.
names, artists as
And-
well.
And there was some cool stuff down there too. I mean, we stopped and looked at quite a bit that was down there as well, and more than I think other things. So, okay, just curious. It was cool. It was cool seeing art.
Nice.
Yeah, so for me, the first day I had to get this was Freddy as Steamboat Willie, but it's Christmasly stylized because I have Freddy as Sorcerer Mickey. And so this is by Elise Walters, who we actually find out more when we went to the Funko panel on Friday, but I'll get to that. So then the next one, I wanted to go all in on the theme, and so I collect Nutcrackers, and so this is Sith Lord Nutcracker done by Chris Metzner.
Yep.
And he does a great job having fun. It's a lot based on the crack shot from Fortnite as a Funko Pop.
I think
And
it's amazing the detail in these as well.
Yeah.
They
Chris goes
did the
all
whole
in.
thing. They didn't just like sketch it out and say next go. Like they'd actually take the.
It's not like
lighter.
they're doing it in pencil. Here's something. They go back. It's amazing to see it cut because they usually start with like a light blue pencil, and you're like, how is this going to turn into anything? And then you get the finished results.
Right. It's amazing.
And so then I talked to Ben Butcher, and so he worked on Pixar, but he also is a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, and so he did this.
Oh, dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a big piece. That's a lot of detail on that one too.
He's like, "Do you mind if I add in 0?" And I was like, "No."
How dare you, sir?
Right?
Excuse me. No, this is my piece. Don't add anything extra.
Well, and I love that Ben made like everyone had a background with his.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just this whatever it was.
Right. Not
Yeah.
just the character, but
Right.
actual pieces in the background and set pieces. I like that.
Mhm.
And so then we when we went to the panel, that was on Friday afternoon, and it was mainly, the panel was very interesting. If you've ever been to a Funko panel in the past, it's usually just a version of a podcast. It's that kind of style. And this one, it was a focus on art, and then Mike Becker gave a motivational speech. It was like a TED Talk. He called it a Fred Talk because it's based on Freddy, but it was just a motivational speech of get up in the morning, know what you're going to do, all these kinds of things.
I love
Okay.
that
And
guy,
so that was
man.
interesting, but there was an
He's
art
so
aspect to it. And they have new Paka lines that are called Villainous Valentines. I don't know if you can really see with the light, but
Circle
essentially
light,
they're really cute versions of animals that have different types of ways to kill you.
Nice.
So like the lion, for example, he has TNT, and they have a penguin and he has like a pickaxe. So it's all based on their environments. Like a bee, he has this big like needle. They just exaggerate as weapons based on what they would be based in. And so Elise Walters is the artist who came up with that. And so after the panel, I went back to the booth and she did a version of that because she's the one who did all these. And this is a polar bear version. So it's classic vintage art from like the 30s and 40s of like cartoon style, but then reimagined and stuff. And so she was also the one who did the Freddie Steamboat Willie for me before I knew who she was.
There was an internet show of cute little animals, and they would kill each other in horrific ways.
Happy Tree Friends?
Happy Tree Friends. That's what this reminds me of.
Sure.
Oh my God. If you want nightmares, watch yourself some Happy Tree Friends, because that is nightmare fuel. Oh God, no, dude. It's gruesome what they do.
I know.
That's like early 2000s when there were these things called like webtoons kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Homestar Runner.
Still a favorite.
Still good. Still good.
So
now,
that's an upcoming Paka line.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So you got that's Villainous Valentines, and then one other one
This is an exclusive, everybody.
No, it's not. But
could be.
Since I got to go through the booth, Michelle also, who's been on the show, got to go through the booth, and so I got 8 sketches total. But the coolest one was her first one was Reese O'Brien, and I had a choice, and I was like, "Well, Michelle, you go to Reese. You know, I don't really mind." And so she just wanted a gingerbread person. That was pretty much it. She likes gingerbread people and stuff, and so he decided to create a gingerbread person where all she put was a wreath and a candy cane, and he turned it into a sword and shield, and it's like a whole fantasy D&D style setup for this gingerbread person. And he has the little snowman like helper guy just hanging in there.
I was kind of hoping that he would do the Gary Busey gingerbread.
Yeah, could have.
That might have to be an episode for next week. Christmas time gingerbread, Gary Busey. It all works.
Hello, pants.
Hello, pants. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that all you got there, Trevor?
Well, do you guys want to see some art that I got from Artist Alley?
Yes.
Yeah, would. Definitely.
Okay, so I don't remember any other names. I do apologize, but
oh no,
this is like the Board and Salt girl, but it's
and
it's based on Smash Brothers, so you're staying salty. They had one with Kirby as well, but this is so much like the Board and Salt girl, and the same artist who did that.
Kirby sucks.
Hey, I like Kirby.
Kirby's the
best. No, he literally
but
sucks.
He literally sucks.
Wow,
that was my pun.
Yeah, I'm a big Loki fan, and I've been looking for art of Miss Minutes. If anybody's, this is the best Miss Minutes rendering I've seen somebody do that isn't on the show itself.
It's a good one.
There's a great alligator Loki right next to it.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
But just a wanted poster for the variants. And then this is a fun one. They had this framed for like $150. I was like, I'm fine with just a regular 11x17 print, but it's literally Admiral Ackbar.
As an admiral.
Wow.
They had other ones with Darth Vader and Boba Fett, but the mask
so good.
sitting on the suit doesn't look the same as just the Mon Calamari head going right into it.
Right.
That's
fantastic.
nice. I know Gentle Giant a few years ago did a bust of him as a general as well, which I still have somewhere packed away. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
you gotta have
that'd be
fun
a
with
good
it.
companion piece.
That's
Well,
awesome.
cool. Nice
Now,
pickups.
Clint, as you are a part of a podcast, the Dorksman with Joey, who you guys have mentioned multiple times, he was there too. You haven't seen him in like a few years since, and have you only met him one time in person?
That was the only time. It was 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. Haven't seen him since.
Great.
Except for this ECCC.
Except for saw him a lot.
That
This-
was
yeah.
I saw pictures of you guys and I was like, that's so great. And that's where
Right.
I'm like, I hope that we can all get together for San Diego Comic-Con in the near future and just get everybody, all of us all together again.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
For
do
sure.
like a Corgi event. Corgi hosts a party every year, and to me, that's the party to be at every year.
Yeah.
And
it's-
shout out to the tag team of Joey and Joey.
That was pretty
They were
fun.
great throughout the entire con. Just outstanding people.
yeah. Oh yeah. They're entertaining together for sure.
Yes.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
That was
Never a dull moment.
when I saw them at HQ the Wednesday night. Like I knew Joey was tall because I'd seen him, of course, at 2019, but I didn't know such a huge height difference between the two of them. I was so shocked. I was like, I didn't realize that tall Joey and we're now calling Beef Squatch more taller Joey, I think is what we're calling
Oh,
him.
jeez.
More taller.
Because it's a sight to see.
There were
So-
multiple
Wow.
nicknames for multiple people that trip. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there had to be for that
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
for sure.
That's how it went. But and I know you mentioned it was a very good turnout. I was very happy to see,
Yeah.
and that included people I know that can't necessarily make San Diego Comic Con all the time. Like
That's true. Yeah.
Friends at Nerdy Curious, Rach came down.
Yeah,
from
Rachel
Nice.
was
Vancouver.
Cool.
fantastic. Yeah.
I had a great time hanging out with her, and as an example. So I mean, unfortunately, there's not some central location we can all go to. Well, there could be, I guess. Maybe we go to Montana or something. But anyway, usually not in a
I'd
con
go
or
to
place.
Montana.
Yeah.
I
I wish-
love Montana. I was just talking to my neighbor about Montana like
Here we
maybe
go.
an hour ago.
Regardless, wherever that location would be, it's just hard for
I
us all to
want
get there at the same
Montana now.
time.
Give me Montana, baby.
Alex, I tell you what, you make Montana Con, I'll be there.
Montana Con
That's right.
2022.
It's just it doesn't happen in a convention center. It opens in the great wide open.
Making your dreams come true.
But I mean, Clint's right. It's like, New York Comic Con, it's really only the East Coasters. Like I know that you guys, a lot of you guys on the West Coast don't make the trip out. San
We
Diego
don't like
Comic
to
Con,
deal with all them New Yorkers and their bagels and stuff.
and then San Diego Comic Con being the big one, of course, everyone's going to try to come out to that.
Right.
So I wasn't expecting that ECCC would, look, I came from Toronto and Joey came in from Louisiana. Austin came in.
Tanner
Orlando.
came in
It's
from
like-
Florida.
Yeah,
Austin from
right.
Alabama.
So it's like a bunch of us decided to make that trip, and I'm really glad that we all got to hang out.
Right.
We're
Because I
also
really,
spaced out.
yeah,
And it's been so long since we've seen, like, you were talking about how you've seen Joey once. I've seen Prague twice in person, and the last
Right.
time was San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
I think I've only met you one time in person, Prague.
That's what happens.
Prague
man.
also doesn't leave the house.
That's true.
Nope.
I'm actually thinking with the four of you on screen. I think I've seen Trevor the most. I've met
That
Trevor
that
in
makes
person
sense.
the most.
Yeah, he goes to most
'Cause
cons.
it was this
York,
and
yeah.
New York.
Yep.
Funko Hollywood opening
Mhm.
in San
Oh!
Diego, right?
Hey, we did that together, Prague.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Oh,
see?
I forgot that existed.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably.
Oh,
I
we
think
went to
that's the Trevor one.
Disneyland too.
That's the same trip. That
Same
gets rolled
trip.
right.
That doesn't
That's the same
count.
trip. That doesn't count.
Trevor
No.
stayed in my house. We
Yeah.
watched Predator together.
But yeah, this was only the second time that Clint and I met.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the second time we hung out.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Unfortunately.
convenient for me just that I have family in New York and Seattle, of all the places in the country to have family.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
and that's
hey,
great.
Trevor
Yeah.
and San Diego.
Oh, oh, big sweetie.
Do we all have
That goes
family in
to
San
all
Diego?
of you
All right,
boys.
cool. All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Thanks.
Don't
Was
be
crashing
like
at your
crashing
place.
your couch.
Just
yeah.
don't ask for a room during Comic-Con. I rent that
I was gonna
out,
say 60
maybe.
people coming over.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Have a little get together, a little party. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, see, and that for me was what sold me on getting out to Emerald City Comic Con, because like we've mentioned, San Diego, you're just go all the time. Everybody's got different places, everything's other priorities, whatever. But I mean, like Gary mentions, Friday we literally went on an eating tour throughout the city of Seattle and checked out like the market.
Yeah.
We went to the Seattle Reserve. We just checked out the city, and that was a lot of fun. And it wasn't, filled up with Comic-Con special things, which is also fun. But we actually got to see things, in their natural environment, if you will,
Right.
and how things always are. And that was a delight, because I actually enjoyed eating really well too, and we ate as much local as we could, and it was fun. I had a great time. I'm not complaining about it.
The thing
Seattle's
is,
a great city, man.
Mm-hmm.
we basically would finish eating, and it's like, okay, where are we going next? And it was like we went from like, having coffee and pastries at the Starbucks Reserve down to Pike's Place and met up with Rach and had crumpets, and then from there went to get like sushi, and then from there to get bubble tea, and then I think
feel
an
so
hour
bad
later I
trip.
was eating like
Talking about this,
dumplings. It was like it was fantastic.
And all the while seeing, what actually downtown Seattle had going on, and see, see the whole market and the waterfront and everything else. It was a great time, and it was nice that you could tie that in with the con and still not miss something.
Yeah, and a lot of people were staying in the same hotel, or at least very close by, and we ended up like at the little bar lounge area.
Well, there was no seats or anything. Yeah, we were all standing around, and
and that great lighting they have.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, it was awful. But we weren't the only ones to think that either, because it was always just packed.
Yeah, but I mean, my voice is just recovering, but I didn't really have a voice after like the first or second day.
That much talking, huh?
Well, yeah, you're talking a lot, and you're talking really loudly because you couldn't hear each other right.
Right.
So because they're playing
math,
music, and then there's because you're at a bar and they have masks, and then you're yelling at the Funko line,
Right?
Yeah,
and then you're yelling at the Funko panel.
Yeah,
it's
and you're yelling on the street corner at people.
You kind of have to,
yeah.
You're not kidding.
I get it. Been
Well,
there,
I
done
saw that the Seahawks were in town, and no one went to that, so a little bummed about that.
Is that a Sporty Ball reference?
It is. They also didn't
my
win.
God.
I don't think, so.
Oh my!
They
Gary.
did win. They beat the
did win.
49ers.
Okay, I thought
Gary.
they lost
I was
that game.
hoping you weren't going to mention it, but yes, they did.
But a friend of the show, also Chris Mazzacampo, he went to a Seattle Kraken game. They
That's
play
awesome.
downtown where
Yeah.
there's the new arena where Key Arena used to be. It's right by the Space Needle.
Nice.
How was that? How is their show? I know that they sometimes do the laser show down on the ice.
Oh, we didn't get that.
We didn't go.
He came
Friend
to
of
the
the
bar
show.
afterwards, and you're like, did
Chris
they
went.
win? And that's all you
He's
got.
not
out
on the
of it.
podcast.
Oh, it was just Chris that one. Okay.
Yeah.
But next time I do kind of want to plan about going to a sporting event. I think it's actually a really good idea.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Anytime I
It'd be
go
fun.
to a different
Yeah.
city, I always look to see what kind of sporting event is going on. Because I mean, it's an experience, and it's something to tick off on your list of sporting places.
I know I want to go to all the different sporting venues, and I went to 0 by going to Seattle, so almost there, checking it off my list.
Right. By the way, Gary, just so you know, they are actually fun, even if you're not into the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much
I
other- too
tell
many
you,
other things going on.
I've only gone to one hockey game, and that was.
And
the
you're
Leafs.
Canadian. God, you're the worst Canadian ever.
Hockey's really fun in person. It's probably the most fun in
it's
person.
Come
so
on,
much
you
fun.
have the Leafs. My home team is the Leafs.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Come on. So, and I only went to that game because someone had like box seat. Like
That's the
box-
problem. He had
Ah,
box
that's
seats,
nice.
so it's like, how can you go watch a regular
So
hockey
now-
game
yeah,
after
now-
going
Oh yeah, you
box
get
seats?
I'm
spoiled.
spoiled.
Like I went to
I
Laker
don't know.
games, and I was in the row right behind courtside, and I got those for free. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying a few $100s to sit up in the nosebleed side. You get
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely been spoiled because I get paid to go to sporting ball games. I'm now calling it sporty ball because of you, Gary.
You got
Jeez,
to.
man.
The influence Gary has, man.
It's a Canadian influence. Say sorry.
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 I was actually waiting for him to say sorry for going to only one hockey game earlier.
Clint's been giving me a hard time about whatever perceived Canadian accent he thinks I have.
Go back and listen to this and tell me what you think. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are ever in San Diego, I can get us tickets to hockey, soccer, rugby, you name it. I can get us there.
Sweet.
So,
Holding you to
And
that.
also, if anyone missed out on Emerald City, they announced the dates for 2022.
Yep.
They're not going to wait all the way till March 2023, and they're not going to be as quick as March 2022. So it's August 18th to 21st, 2022, and Seattle in August is pretty nice.
So a big
Pretty
change from
nice.
December, but the weather could have been so much worse when we were there. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't complain about that.
And-
but
I mean,
it-
mid 40s and 50s. I thought it was going to be
Yeah.
below freezing. So
yeah,
And we said it was raining, but it was more misty than anything.
Right.
It's almost like you're walking on the air is like condensing on your skin.
Mhm.
More so than heavy rain. So, but it was
It
just
actually felt nice when you got out of the convention center. Just put on your
Yeah.
coat, go out. It felt nice.
So I
The one
guess
thing
you could
is
say
that-
that I missed it.
yes,
Ah.
yes.
There you go.
Oh, that was a good one.
Bye, Alex.
you just got to be careful with any art or merchandise you bring out
Yeah.
from the con.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Right.
the day I got stuff, it was dry.
Yeah, I got a few
Wow.
things wet, unfortunately, but that's what it is.
It's okay. Just get watercolor. Then it won't matter.
There you go. That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. I had something else to add on to that, but now I can't think of what it was. But either way,
Sorry, I do that.
no, it wasn't you. I should have been better. I know better.
Okay.
So, but anyway, it was good.
Yeah, it was
cool, man.
definitely a good trip.
It sounds like it was great. It was a good time to meet up, at least, if anything.
Exactly. That's what that's what we should call it. We should call it the Emerald Comic Con meetup,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then add on the Con afterwards. Because the real
Yeah,
point
it's like
was
the
to
dessert.
see
Yeah, just
people.
throw in some extra C's. Why not? Some CCC.
All the C's.
Community Comic Con event.
It's
con.
only one more C than every other Comic Con out there.
No,
So-
it
throw-
doesn't matter. It feels like
when you
100.
say it. When you say it, it sounds forever. ECCC.
you know, those are my initials, so I guess maybe I don't see it that way.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah. But it was good. It was.
It's just interesting this event came together because like Funko was the biggest attraction for a lot of people, and
Mhm.
Right.
everything they had was overflow from NYCC that didn't arrive in time.
Yeah.
They didn't have
Oh,
one thing that was exclusive for Emerald City. They're like, none of this stuff arrived in time and we have to get it out. So luckily our hometown con has a place for us to do it.
And
You
one of
think
the items still didn't show up.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no Superman.
The
But do you think they
Superman
did that
didn't
on purpose, knowing they weren't going to New York, and then they're like, "Well, let's divide it so we should have something at Emerald City," which makes total sense to me. I
Right.
personally like
They
it.
could have rolled it over to the special edition San Diego Comic Con. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. I actually like that there wasn't a million things to get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that was kind of a nice thing to do. That you didn't have, two full bags you had to carry around the convention center, or if you got everything, or whatever the case was. Like,
And it's so good not having your bag run into somebody because there's nobody anywhere around.
There's
you know, when
nobody
you get that
there.
bag,
Right.
and you're like, oh my god, somebody's gonna knee it, somebody's gonna kick it.
mhm. Absolutely agree. Like it was nice not having everything, and I mean that. And I hope everybody did that. Like Figpin had 5 exclusives?
Yeah.
Is
something
that
like
it?
that.
And I know Plastic Empire only had the one squishy chomp that was exclusive to that. Like they weren't going buck wild, which was nice. It was nice to not have to spend $3,000 and again get it damaged
Right.
getting home because there's so many people. It was easy to do. And I mean the hotels were close by, and the setup itself I thought was really nice.
Always
Cool.
stay close if you can. I mean that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really tough in San Diego, but there's a bunch of hotels in downtown Seattle, and I know a bunch of people didn't go as normal, but it's so great to leave the con and walk less than a half mile. Like, you're boom. I can drop
Yeah.
my stuff off. I can go in the middle of the day and just sit and relax.
Yeah.
Have a sit.
Absolutely. I
So-
thought I was going to say earlier. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to say it this time. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of the summer and then have it go back to the winter for Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah.
Is there anything else happening in August? Is like D23 happening then, or
So,
celebration?
I was looking at the
My
calendar today.
birthday.
They moved Star Wars Celebration was exactly August 18th to 21st, but they moved it to Memorial Day weekend, and then D23 is Labor Day weekend.
Still
Interesting.
working on our panel for.
Star Wars Celebration,
Wars.
you better believe it. I'm hoping no one shows up like Emerald City so we can get in.
Easy, right?
Hopefully, it's in
That would be
Anaheim
nice.
too.
It is in Anaheim.
It is.
Now,
Yeah, they already tell
Big
us that
question: Did everybody make money on eBay with your exclusives?
Luckily, none of this stuff is worth much.
Well, so get this with the Funko booth. Even I think the last day, like only 3 of the things sold out,
Wow.
and that doesn't include the stuff that's counted. It has a number associated with it, like Jimi Hendrix, the Blacklight. Because I'm shocked how many people go crazy for Blacklight, but good on them.
I'm
else
surprised
sold out?
you're surprised about that.
See, exactly. Well, that teach their own.
People
Everyone's
love
got
Blacklight.
something.
During the panel, they announced a new social media Freddy. It's going to be a soda social media Freddy. And they're like, what should the chase be? Should it be glow in the dark? Should it be black and white? And then they're like, Blacklight. And almost everyone in the crowd screamed Blacklight.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I must
God,
be
do
like
I
one of
need
the
a-
only people on the planet that doesn't.
I think it's a
really
neat
care
idea.
too much
I mean,
for
it's better than
Blacklight.
Chrome, but
I
I'm
think
with-
it works for certain things.
Right.
But not every fandom
Yeah,
has Blacklight that fits within the context of the movie or the TV
Right.
show.
Right.
yeah.
Alice in Wonderland made sense. That's about
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Alice in
about
Wonderland
it.
made sense.
Jimi
Right.
Hendrix does make sense.
Jimi
but it's
Hendrix
like
makes sense, sure.
Yeah.
Blacklight
Well,
Star Trek. It's like
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It worked with Star Trek, and there's a Freddy that's Blacklight there. My point is, anyway, going back, that they just didn't sell out of everything either. It wasn't like, oh, if you didn't get there the first time, you're done. You can't get it,
Yeah.
which was nice.
I'm hoping they put the overflow online for anyone who couldn't go because there's definitely have merch left over.
Yeah, that we'll probably see that in the next few days if they do.
Or just put it at HQ or Hollywood or something. But yeah.
And then speaking of Hollywood, shout out to Funko for learning from FunCon. So FunCon wasn't the best in terms of allocating resources because they planned for a whole bunch of pops and they only had 4 pops show up. That was not the best look for people, but Mike did an amazing job of keeping people entertained in the tent. And Funko learned from that. And I think every booth going forward is going to have some capacity of being able to have a stage presence and interact with people online. Shout out to DJ Chino. He was on his feet for like
The
4
whole day.
days.
The whole
Yeah.
day.
Like everyone
Whole
else took a break. Like Ashley and Hillary and Jen and Mike, they would all come up on stage and then they would go take a break. He was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, he was working right from that Wednesday night. So from Wednesday night,
Yeah, Wednesday night he was there.
Sunday, the close probably whenever.
He's a fun guy. He was up up for it too. He never once looked even tired. He was having a good time with everybody and
He's
just
a DJ. He's probably pounding Red Bulls and bouncing off the walls.
good for him. I'm not gonna
dude.
say he's wrong, Yeah, if it works, who cares?
I can't get away with that. I'm too old at this point. My digestive system will say no.
Or extreme yes. Yeah, I'm with you.
Or extreme,
Alex,
yes.
you're a
is my
young man,
case.
aren't you? You're a young man, Alex.
So yeah, hopefully they keep that
Thanks, Gary.
stage idea going. just to
I'd be
build it
okay if
right
other
into the
people.
booth.
Yeah, I'd be okay if other people learned from it too, because it
Yeah.
seems to work great.
It's just a great way to interact.
I will say I got the impression I think Mike was disappointed with how it all went.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just seeing him.
Sure, he puts a lot into that, you know.
Right. But I mean, I could look at him and tell he wasn't thrilled on how it was going. You know what I mean? That's a bummer because like you said, he put so much time and effort into it, and that includes all his fun day stuff and all the fun TV and everything else he does. And I don't know. It's almost one of those things that you get what you put into it. I had a great time, and I put stuff into it. I enjoyed
There you
cheering.
go.
I enjoyed
Well
seeing
said.
Gary get up on stage. I enjoyed just yelling. I enjoyed yelling the answers to people I had no idea who they were, but I wanted
You
to
know
get it
what?
right.
I will guarantee you, if you hopped onto Twitter and told Mike that, I think he would very much appreciate that. He's
Well,
the
He's
type
not
of
on
guy
Twitter,
who,
but yeah.
well, Instagram then.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
he
He would
listens
very
to this,
much
does he not?
appreciate.
Of
Sorry?
course, he's
Yeah,
one of our
he'll hear it
number one
here.
listeners.
Yeah. I think they play it in the office in Coronado.
Oh,
They just
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
sing
he'll
there.
hear it then.
I hope
But
not.
yes, I
So
thought it was a
nervous.
really neat idea, and I hope they do continue, like Trevor said. I think it'd be a lot of fun for them to do that. And
And-
like I said, I could see others doing it or doing something similar.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was def-
Gary
it was
got up
definitely
on
fun.
stage, and then Tall Joey got up on stage, and then Michelle got up on stage. So that makes it
Cool.
more fun too.
I think a lot of people, the people that put in an effort, I think were the ones that they pulled, right? Because they want people that that
Are
gonna-
excited or
you know,
jumping
are
up and
excited
down and
to, like,
screaming.
and like Clint said, there were a lot of people that just were not, at least that first day, they were just not hyped.
So interesting,
Right.
Because this
It's
is like
weird.
this was supposed to be kind of the first, besides New York, at least on the West Coast. This was supposed to be the first.
again,
big
Funko
Comic-Con.
wasn't at New York, so
Right,
Yeah,
right.
right.
This is a big
Okay,
thing.
so yeah,
And there
this
hasn't
should have
fun
been
days,
a
yeah.
much bigger thing then.
Yeah.
Well, and even it was
So-
I was talking to Jen, and I guess there was even one point when she's like, "Who wants to win a proto?" and nobody cheered.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't ask. She was doing it during her streaming, but I didn't ask, what day or anything. But I'm like, really, there wasn't one person there that was like, hell yeah! Like, even if you get something stupid that nobody in their right mind would want, it's still a proto.
It's a free. Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
That's what doesn't make
free
sense.
thing, right?
And all you have, and you don't have to embarrass yourself. You answer trivia, and I mean,
like I had to.
Well, except when usually if you pick trivia, they're like dancing. Let's go hit it.
That's a good point.
Or in my case, you're stupid enough and you tell Hillary that it's dealer's choice, and she makes you dance and do trivia at the same time.
Which Gary again did like a boss. We gotta get that video out there, but. Yeah, you're right, Trevor. They would do that, but I don't know if they would if the crowd wasn't into it. Like at least to get them, into it at some point. It just boggles my mind. People like, why is the stuff's not that good? You're not gonna miss out.
Here's the thing that I keep thinking about is, could it be a little bit of oversaturation? Like for instance, Funko has HQ in Seattle and it's got a Hollywood store. Are people a little oversaturated with having so much Funko just kind of everywhere that like having a con is almost like, oh well, I know that I can see all these people if I go to HQ or if I go to Hollywood?
I don't think so. Again, for the booth especially, I mean, it was just entertainment. It wasn't necessarily even related to Funko. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, but there might be some people that are like, okay, I get it, Funko, great, I get it, I'm done. And that's fine. You can have that attitude, but I mean, they put you in a corral essentially, have you on stage in a limited area with a limited number of people saying, "Who wants to win some free stuff?"
Yeah, I mean, see. That's awesome.
Right. And I mean, it's
people
not like
love free stuff, and these are like pieces of Funko history. Even if you aren't a proto fan, it's still there's like 4 to 8 of them made of each individual character.
Right. And how many times have we seen people go crazy over like buttons, or stickers? And this is actual. I mean, I think Brian even made a joke here. You can put it on eBay. Whatever you need to do because. Like just people weren't into
that
it.
Guy, man.
Right. I mean, he wasn't pulling punches. And of course Mike's always into it. Mike's always in character. So it was just disappointing to see because even regardless of the Funko part, these people were putting on a show for you to give you free stuff.
Yeah, it could have been any booth.
Right.
Yeah.
It could have been just somebody outside saying, "Who wants an Emerald City button?" You know what I mean? Like
there was a line there was this like vending machine or something. And you could scan your badge and you have a chance to win. There was a line constantly for that. No matter when I went by, there was a line for that, and you could win like books. So I don't get it, and it just shows how many protos Funko has when they don't host fun days and they don't give out 1,800 of them in one night.
Right.
They're like, how do we give these out now? It's like, oh, here's 4 at a time. And it's like, take them.
And you have to imagine that once con schedules get back to normal, the opportunity to get a proto is going to decrease.
Yeah, it's going to go back
people
to
it
used to be very tough.
Yeah, did not take that opportunity.
God,
to
man.
try.
Oh, jeez.
It's it was, and I don't know if it's because, like Trevor said, these exclusives just aren't the ones that are going to make people money. So the flippers didn't care being there either. I have no idea. I have no idea what it was, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Like,
and maybe that's why they were happy to do the event because they knew the flippers weren't as abundant because they wanted the fans there. That's why
like when we went to Fun Days in 2019, our section was quiet because it seemed like almost everybody was on their phones and they're just waiting for this event to end. When does Prize Patrol give me some stuff so I can get out of here? Yeah. And that's why the party was more exciting because those people were there. They know who Mike is. It means more when he comes out and sharing his time with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed myself too. I'm sorry they missed out. Even if I didn't win I didn't win a proto on there, and that's fine. I'm glad Gary did. But I still
you got yours the
night before
party, the HQ party.
Right. Nice. But I mean, even though I didn't get on stage, they actually did stuff to make sure people were winning stuff, just handing stuff out.
Yeah,
they would
throw stuff out to the crowd. I think they just kind of randomly went through and just handed things to people in the booth.
They gave some regular pops, but they also gave like some of the Freddy's from this year. Like they had the Freddy HR Puffin stuff. They had the Freddy, Marty McFly. So
Yeah.
they passed out more than just common pops.
Sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
No, I saw that that's going for like $200+. I believe Ed sent me a link to someone sending or trying to sell one, and I was like, I can't justify $200+ for a toy.
Could have had it for free.
No, because then I would have had to pay for room and board, pay for a flight, pay for food, pay for all that stuff. That proto would have ended up being about $4,000 because I like to live lavish.
$4,000.
That's
What
not
are
a
you
proto.
doing?
He's not talking about the proto. He's talking about just
first
the pop.
class flight,
First class flight,
presidential
okay.
suite,
Okay.
gourmet food. Give me a break, bro. I'm traveling high class.
Alex, but
That's why Alex doesn't
hanging out
travel.
with us would have been priceless.
Oh, Gary.
Why did Alex's screen just go dark there?
USOB.
Son of a bitch.
I love you, Alex.
We need a
I like-
MasterCard commercial where
I
it's
like this
like first class flight, $2,000, presidential suite, $4,000, hanging with friends, priceless.
Man,
Priceless.
there's a generation that doesn't know what those commercials are. So yeah, bring them back.
It's true. It's true.
But yeah.
Very
We're
cool.
old. Well, I'm glad you
Well-
guys had a good time.
We
Yeah.
did. We missed you
Yeah,
guys.
it's-
We would have loved to have seen you there, of course. But
Yeah.
Next
you
time.
know, life. Yeah.
I would have been
And then
drunk.
the best thing for me,
I'd be up
bar
for that.
none, is that I excised my demons. Just so everyone knows, in 2019, I went to GameWorks and I got food poisoning. So this
Oh, that's what
year,
it was.
on Thursday, we went to
Oh.
GameWorks and I
Oh,
didn't get
no.
food poisoning. Boom.
You risked yourself again?
I'm
The
surprised.
last time I was eating some chicken wings that were out in like a buffet style, and I think they were just out for too long. This time I just got a well done burger, and I was like,
Well done.
it's tough to mess this up. Let's go.
Make sure it's well done, sir.
I'll take a piece of tree bark. Thank you.
Here's
Yeah,
an
thanks.
interesting thing about though. Seattle's downtown was kind of dead at night. Like
That's the other
Yeah.
part about GameWorks. So we went to GameWorks, and it was like 7:30, and we close at 8. How it was Thursday night football. It's a place that
Right.
has the TV screens and an arcade, and you're gonna close at 8 p.m.
during a con when nerds are everywhere.
Times
Weird.
have changed, man. COVID has changed
Yeah,
people's
that
way
has
they
to be
live
a
life.
COVID thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
People
one
just
thing
don't
that
go out anymore.
we really didn't touch too much on. And I'm curious how they handled it, like the whole COVID situation. Were there masks? I mean,
Mask
sanitation.
100% of the
Yeah.
time.
Mask
and you had
100%.
to-
That's awesome.
You had
They
to
actually
use
did
the
a really
Clear
good
app
job.
to prove your vaccination, and then they give you a green wristband.
Yeah,
So
that's-
Seattle's
okay.
a little more aggressive about it too than like where I am, and I imagine where you guys are. You have to show your vaccination card anywhere you go anytime.
Nope.
Restaurant wise.
Not here.
Not,
in
not
California.
down here, man.
Yeah, it's not here either. Like you have to either
Yeah.
show a
It is in
picture of
LA
it.
County.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
in
Wow.
Canada. In Canada, to eat indoors, you have to show proof of vaccination.
Which was odd to me because like I'm not used to that, like you guys said. So
Yeah.
I actually appreciated that. Like
I
fine
didn't
showing
think
my vax
anything
card.
different because that's my way of life up
That's
here.
how it was at New York City New York
Yeah.
does the same thing, and I was like,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
we're traveling. I get the idea. It makes you feel so you don't think about it as much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
fine. Like I said, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
No,
We
that's
talked-
great.
Protocols, like Trevor said, they give you a green wristband
Mhm.
once you've proven that you're vaccinated.
But if you're not
vaccinated,
vaccinated, you
or
get
I
a
think it's-
red one, and then you are ostracized the entire
Everyone
time.
shuns you.
I think if you're
Shame.
unvaccinated, you have to show like a negative COVID result.
Mhm.
Oh, that
But
makes sense.
you
Okay.
get cleared, and then you just, when you're entering the con, you just show them your badge and your green wristband, and you're good to go. But you had to wear a mask all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
I
cool.
agree. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I didn't see anybody really fight it. It was pretty
No.
well. I might have been just well enforced, but I never even saw them had to. I saw on HQ they had to tell people to put it on, but not actually at the con. Like
Nice.
people were just pretty cool about it.
I wonder. I mean, that's more of a societal question that
Mhm.
people can understand. But I wonder if people who go to conventions with like nerdier leanings would have more understanding of the value of science and all of
Good
those
point.
aspects of it.
Yep.
To be honest, I just don't want to get con crud, so I'm fine wearing a
Yeah,
mask.
I don't want
I'm
to get
on board.
anything.
Anything.
Yeah, so
Anything at
COVID,
all.
cold, flu, I'm good.
Seriously, it's like I came back from NYCC without a cold, and so far so good. Like
Knock on wood.
no issues coming back from ECCC.
Yeah.
ECCC.
Keep going. Keep going. There's so many more C's in there, bro.
ECCC. See you later, folks.
There's just one more C. Calm down.
Yeah.
I think.
But I'd be all
Honestly,
for it. Like, and you know, I again, I think shout out to everybody. They handled it great, and I can't think of a single instance that I saw somebody without one in the convention center.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I think we should probably wrap it up. We're at an hour 20 now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you
We'll
guys had
see
any
how-
like last takes on this.
Can I just give a shout out to
God, I
Reese
thought
and
we were
Kelly?
ending this
Congratulations.
podcast.
Congratulations to Reese and Kelly. On
Yeah,
their
Reese and
wedding.
Kelly.
got
Congratulations on the
married.
marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
And
good.
I've been lifted from being blocked.
Nice.
Ah.
Good for you, Alex. Being friends with us helps.
That's right. Actually, I'm sure it was a Kelly influence there.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
No,
hilarious.
very, very cool stuff.
Very much so.
And before we go, I didn't do socials at the beginning, so I'll do them right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you can
Oh,
listen to
man,
all of
this is
our
gonna be a long
episodes
one now.
and all of the I almost called you the four dorksmen. All of the
It's all right.
dorksmen episodes as well on crossthestreamsmedia.com, where you can find all of our social media, all of our episodes. You can leave us reviews. You can do all that stuff over there. More exciting is we have the voicemail feature where you can leave us questions, feedback, suggestions, hot takes, and whatever you want to say. Just say it to us.
And
You can
that-
also
that-
watch us on YouTube. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say
Clint.
that's per show. So if you want to do it to everybody, you can. It
Yeah.
goes separate places.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah. So it's not going to be like where it just gets pumped out to everyone. That would be
Right.
terrible. But all of that is at Cross the Streams Media. If you don't want to go to Cross the Streams Media, we are at Secondary Heroes everywhere, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram and Twitter. We are mainly on Twitter. That's where most of our stuff happens, is on Twitter. Gary, would you like to pimp yourself out a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on Twitter at GL_Faraday. On Instagram, I'm Faraday's Finds. And whenever Robbie has his little thing on Saturday nights called Robbie
little
Sack,
thing.
his little thing.
It's
His
not little
thing for
anymore.
Robbie Sack. You can find me on that because I guest host on that. So, and that's
Awesome.
on Twitch, on the Geek Together channel.
And Mr. Clint.
Well, as Alex already said, part of the Dorksman, obviously, crossstreamsmedia.com is the best place to go there. Listen and you can hear everything else. We have email and all that jazz, but that's the place to go. I think we're at _Dorksman, basically anywhere there's any social media interaction. Along with Gary, I do a lot of Geek Together stuff when we're on a little hiatus right now, but I'm sure that'll change eventually. So make sure to check that out. At Collector Clint, Twitter and Instagram. I mean, I have other accounts, but they're not as much fun to follow.
Oh, you have other accounts. You've
Just
got
a
like
few.
1,000 other
What?
accounts.
I have anyway.
Other
I'm just gonna
accounts?
You
leave it
can
at that.
type in Clint and you're going to get at least 6 or 7 on the first page.
Well, there you go. So
Easy to find.
enjoy the plethora that is me. I think that's all I got.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome. To everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed. I don't know how you made it this long, but it's also, again, this is a Christmas con, so I think next episodes we might be talking about some Christmas movies and characters and all kinds. Who knows what that's going to be? But until then, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, prog out.
Adios, y'all.